So earn is not like a real category. Like you see like these libertarian types talk about responsibility and earning and rugged individualism. But like most of our jobs are fake to begin with, or at least what's left of them. You know, you can't be too critical of someone that's trying to make a living in America. You know, there's not enough living wage jobs, for everyone to have them. And the people that do have them don't always understand that. And especially like older people that are successful, they're having trouble understanding it too, you know. They don't understand that there's a significant difference between like people that are in the management class and the upper management class and the actual workers, like even the administrative types in like a school district versus the teachers versus the students, or middle management, upper management, and the lower employees, right? There's a left hemisphere, right hemisphere differences there, and everything's supposed to be in like an order like that. So, but the problem is the upper types tend to think that the employees should be micromanaged and that they should be like them, and they don't always have like the best advice, like say for teachers, for example, right? They're like, did you try talking to them? Did you try this? You tried this? Did you try that? No, these teachers have tried everything. You know, I'm not even like a real teacher. I'm like a sub. And I know that like these teachers are like trying everything. But they're so addicted to their phones, and you can't do anything. You can't take them away. You can't take the disruptive kids and put them in like a separate classroom until they, can behave. There's all these simple solutions you can do, because it's always only like one or two kids in each class. General ed classes, I'm saying, because they, especially in elementary school, they don't have any consequences. So that's another example of like how woke ideology is kind of like disrupted education. It's always been woke, right? It's always about inclusion and stuff like that. But the fact that you can't handle kids figured that out. And especially in like rural, like elementary schools and middle schools and more urban and rural, any kind of extreme, the kids are difficult. It's hard to concentrate on a classroom when you're dealing with like two kids, you know. Other things I could talk about are the comedian Neil Brennan has like a few bits about how black people are different than white people, because he hangs around a lot of black people and he's just like this nerdy white guy, comedian guy. And he said they're going into a club once, and like he realized he's the only one that's thinking about whether this many people breaks the fire code, right? Because like his mind is more bureaucratic, because white people are more relatively left hemisphere emphasized, generally speaking, than black people or more indigenous people. In the same way that the British were more left hemisphere emphasized than the colonists that left, right? Because they didn't want to be bureaucratically controlled. Well, the same thing, like just as the British are to the colonists are to the Indians. In the same way that the upper management is to the middle management, is to the employees, or the administrators of the school system, the storm teachers, and then the rebellious student, right? So that's how the world actually works. Those are like how we're already in these social hierarchies and you can't get out of them. It's important to know that you can't. It's not like the movies where the rebellious students would actually take over the school, right? And destroy the administration. That's not going to happen. That's kind of like how we live in opposite land and how it's perpetuated by our elders. When we're children, we're watching all these movies, and in every movie, it's the relatively right hemisphere emphasized side that's overtaking the left hemisphere emphasized dominant world, right? Whether it's the Matrix, the machines in the Matrix, right? Or Agent Smith, it's always the highbrow side and the lowbrow side. It doesn't even matter if it's like child versus adult movies, right? Like Home Alone. The adults are always the highbrow side and the kids are always the lowbrow side. Just like the British think like, the colonists are like hooligans, and the colonists think like the Indians are savages, right? And the Zionists think the Palestinians are animals, right? This has been going on throughout history. This is a struggle of 1,000 generations. Sphere wars. That's what it is. That's what we're doing. Everything is a hemispheric opposition, whether you like it or not.